major pillar of the series is eating. It's obviously something that's both very important and familiar to all of us.
In the world of anime, that has got to be one of the biggest understatements of the century.
Takes a lot to make a stew.
A pinch of salt and laughter.
But yeah, for today, we're going to be reading interviews with Delicious Party's main cast and 2 of its producers. Yeah, again, it's a little weird that Fumi Yazuki wasn't invited into this conversation, unless they're trying to keep something under wraps, but there I go again with my conspiracy theories.
But yeah, for today, we're just going to take a look at these interviews and try to infer some of the intent of the creators, whilst also throwing in some of my own snark, because that's just how I live my life.
We'll take things a little in reverse order, starting with the producers, Kanako, Tada, and Kaori Yasumi, before moving on to the VAs of our 3 main leads, ending things with our lead Pink, who is arguably the most important member of the cast, being the main voice of the series and all that. Anyway, continuing where we left off with Tada, we have all learned how to make many different foods, as well as made many different memories through them.
I think in Gordon Ramsay's case, he kind of wishes he could forget some of those memories.
Butterfly shrimp and chocolate sauce.
Oh, you know. Get me back to London.
We also tend to eat with our eyes as we gaze upon things like glossy rice, a juicy veggie sandwich, or a steamy bowl of ramen. Stuff like this can warm the heart and fill us up with happiness.
It also tends to fill up our arteries, but y'all can worry about that later.
We also tend to put a lot of effort into what sort of shape and color our food takes as we try to follow certain motifs. For example, the perfectly triangular musubi or the cute and contrasting colors of an omelet rice. These sorts of aesthetics can make our hearts beat, so food in general can be both a source of life as well as a major influence on our everyday lives.
Them's a lot of flowery words just to say that you want to go to McD's for breakfast.
Thus, having food collaborate with Precure seems like the ultimate tag team. The Delicious Party Precure are going to be tasty, fun, happy, cute, kind, cool, enhancing, heart-beating, exciting, and so many other adjectives I want to list off here.
Okay, y'all do realize there is a difference between selling your product and coming off like a total stan, right?
To those who gather to make and eat food, there are infinite possibilities to bring smiles to those faces. That's where our main character, Yui, gets her catchphrase, "Foods are smiles," from. And I hope those words will ring with our audience, so please do look forward to our show.
Okay, my sarc aside, as I do think they're being a little bit too overly flowery, I actually do like the passion they're putting in right now, and at least they do seem to have a bit of a clear vision for the show so far.
How stable it remains and how well they follow through with it remains to be seen, but for now, things do seem like they're off to a decent start. Moving on to producer Kaori Yasumi, on top of being a source of life and having a lot of familiarity with it, food can bestow upon our bodies many different flavors and memories.
Did y'all copy each other's work?
We express our appreciation to those who cook for us with words like itadakimasu, gochosama, oshiso. All of these are essentially different ways of saying thank you, though those sorts of warm feelings can produce smiles, which in of themselves are sources of understanding that can spread the joy and produce even more smiles.
Too many cooks. Kill me.
Thus, we've chosen the themes of thankfulness and sharing, which will all be concentrated around food. Our main character, Yui, will have a more laid-back, yet energetic attitude towards her love of eating.
Yeah, just don't get too laid back or else you're not going to be able to digest that stuff properly. What? I'm an uncle, I'm required to say this stuff.
The words of her grandmother, that foods are smiles, are very important to her, as she'll even think about them as she heads into battle to defend food, with her energy fairy Komekome as they share their power.
Okay, I'm sorry, but what were the themes of this series again?
They'll make powerful bonds with the allies they meet as they share their smiles and excitement. The word party, as a result, will have all sorts of feelings behind it.
Okay, so party seems to have a bit of a double meaning, basically both a celebration and a group or team, which is good, especially if they focus on the latter and lead to a little less cleanup afterwards.
And what is with all the balloons?
We want Yui's warm thank yous over our shared experiences to be spread to our viewers.
Which will hopefully lead to a few more toy sales because God knows they need them this year.
And even after they get older, we hope that Foods or Smiles will continue to reverberate with them as we create the most blissful and tasty Precure we can. So please do look forward to Delicious Party Precure.
Okay, I actually do like how it seems like the producers are on the same page and everything, so that will mean a bit more of a consistent product.
I do think Yasumi has a more solid vision than Tada, or at least can articulate her words better, but regardless, they at least seem to have their ideas in place. Moving on to the VAs, we'll start with the super veteran. When asked about her immediate feelings after she landed the role of Cure Yum Yum, Yuka Iguchi responded as such. I was super happy!
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Were you by chance satisfied that you landed the role?
I gave it my all at the audition, so when I got the news, I went, yeah, and cried a lot.
What are you coming back to me for? I can't really add anything here, especially when it seems like she's just being honest.
But yeah, just to summarize, landing the role of a Precure seemed to be on her bucket list ever since she became a VA, and she's planning to give it her all in her performance, so nothing much else to say.
Well, other than I also think that she deserved to be a lead pink considering that enthusiasm as well as that resume. I mean, if anything, it would almost guarantee an interaction between her and Nodoka in some sort of crossover, and then we could get a bit of a pseudo Hibiki Miku moment. What, I like my Sinful Gear shipping.
Next, she was asked what she perceived to be the main appeal of the Precure franchise. I just love how they protect everyone's dreams, and in spite of just being a bunch of young girls, they never give up and give it their all.
You know, unless they get their motivation drained or brainwashed into slovenliness more than once.
Also, they're really shiny and cute.
Can make it look shiny. I will sparkle like a wealthy woman's man.
I think their stories can appeal to both children and adults.
Yeah, know what's coming.
I also love how all the series are so close to our everyday lives that they can leave quite the impression.
Yeah, because those sweet police from the end of Kira Kira were essentially true to life and left quite the impression. I'm not even sure if I'm completely joking here.
Lastly, they asked for her impressions of Ron and how she would translate that into her performance. Ron-chan is such an energetic girl who loves tasty food. She's friendly and very straightforward about what she likes.
So basically what would happen if Miku completely took after Hibiki? Gotta get around to covering XD soon.
Though her passion for what she loves can come off a little too strong for some, she's still cute and humorous enough to make it work.
Yeah, tell the Totoma and the teeth marks Index is left in his skull.
And while she might not be able to read the room, her bright, enthusiastic side is quite likable in how different she can be.
Okay, forget what I said earlier, maybe this girl really is a hidden pink. But seriously, this was very much a Iguchi interview, to say the least.
She tends to be very passionate about her characters, to the point that sometimes she'll just break into character if someone's bad-mouthing them.
無限入れてるわけないじゃないですか。
使ってよみんなは使ってねこんな大人になっちゃダメだよ
As a result, while she's no master of articulating during these sorts of interviews, I have no doubt that she'll do a good job portraying this character with her usual energy. And while her descriptions of Ron are ultimately not too different from what we've read in the character synopsis, it does seem like she's at least going to be an enjoyable character based on how much Iguchi seems to like her. Moving on to Risa Shimizu, she was asked the same 3 questions. For the first one, about what she felt when she landed the role of Kokode, she said, "It's like a dream come true. My manager informed me at the office that I had passed, and I was over the moon. However, while I was entranced at becoming the Precure whom I had admired so much for so many years, I also knew I needed to get serious, as I was going to play the traditionalist Cure archetype that some of my seniors had played."
This guy gets it.
But yeah, it seems like she's always been a fan of the cool blue types, and is going to try to deliver the same kind of courage and excitement she got from those characters to the next generation, which is good to hear.
Though nowadays, it seems like it's a coin flip on whether or not the blue ends up being the Spock of the team or the meme factory.
On the subject of what she found appealing about this franchise, I've been watching ever since Futai, and even now I can vividly remember the excitement I felt back then. The theme song in particular is great, and I sung it all the time.
You, and unfortunately a lot of the big friends.
The Precure were so cute and awesome that it gave me a burning passion to do my best too. They really teach how not to give up and put smiles on the faces of all of their viewers. Honestly, these are good answers, if again a little bog standard.
It's also interesting to learn that she's a bit of an OG watcher, as I always thought that she was a bit on the younger side, but nope, as it turns out, she's the same age as me.
Anyway, as for impressions of Kokone, At first glance, she seems like a cool and mature girl. However, beyond the elegant, she is a bit of a tsundere with a good heart full of compassion.
It's nice though I made it extra spicy just for you. Holy hell, somebody give me some water!
I think she's gonna go through a lot of character development over the course of the show, and I really hope I can pull off those subtle nuances as she develops her bonds with her team. So, I hope everyone looks forward to my performance. Again, I really appreciate this actress's professionalism, as not only does she seem to be studying her character, but the franchise itself.
And if we're taking her words at face value, it's interesting to learn that Kokone is a bit of a tsundere. She's not breaking any NDAs with that, is she?
Last up, we have Hana Hishikawa. For the first question, she answered with, "When I learned about it at the office, I honestly couldn't believe it and thought I was dreaming.
Wake up, Barbie! You've been in a coma for 17 years!
I actually managed to join the ranks of the Precure, whom I had admired ever since childhood and was really happy."
And that's all she had to say about that. Well, at least she kept things short and concise, unlike certain overthinkers. Stop holding on me.
Moving on to the second question, I think it's a franchise that holds a lot of nostalgia for me.
Shh! Don't say that, or else Netflix might try and make a remake out of it.
Not too long ago, I went to see a Precure film, and I saw both children and the adults enjoying it together, and it really warmed my heart.
Really? Y'all gonna make me use 2 Big Friend clips in one video? Okay.
I think the Precure's straightforwardness, combined with some awesome fights, are things that can be appreciated by viewers of all generations. Honestly, I do like that answer, as again, we've got a VA who understands that this franchise can appeal to an audience well beyond its initial target demographic.
Which might be a part of their plans, but you can go watch this video for more details.
Finally, when asked about her impressions of Yui, she's very honest, especially about her love of food. Thus, even though she's a superheroine, I tried to give her a bit more of a casual tone to make her a little bit more relatable to the children.
Yeah, that's right. Give them a more laid-back protagonist that everyone can relate with, and who can also mooch off of everyone's food. Wait.
And considering how difficult it is to organize large gatherings right now, I think it's important that Delicious Party Precure gives them an image to look forward to of everyone being able to happily eat together again. That is the main thing I want to get across with my performance.
Okay, that's actually really well said. It gets across the character's motivations, as well as gives justification for even making a show like this, considering the current circumstances. So, those were the interviews with the main cast and producers. What were your main takeaways?
Personally, I find it interesting that in spite of having some very different voices, everyone here, for the most part now, share a similar vision for the series. Sure, some can't articulate their words as well as others. I think Shimizu trumps both of her co-stars, but they all seem to share just about equal passion, which is all that really matters. And the producers also seem to have a clear vision for the series, but time will tell if the writer's room can follow up with that. Still, so far, both the show and its crew seem fairly well grounded, so we'll see how well they take off.
And with that, this will likely be the last Delicious Party video we make until the actual premiere, so look forward to that. And until then though, farewell for now my friends, and ooh, somebody left behind some Chex Mix. Itadakimasu.